Now you're seeing on the screen the all-time high of Bitcoin. And frankly, we see it very likely that Bitcoin will reach a new all-time high at some point. In this video, we're going to explain why. First, it's crucial to take a somewhat broader perspective on Bitcoin's chart on a daily time frame. It never hurts to remember that we're in a macro bullish channel. A macro bullish channel that recently, as you're noticing, has come to kiss the all-time high. But doesn't it seem extremely strange that it went to seek the all-time high just not to break it? We're not assuming it breaks it and shoots up, a scenario that who knows might happen, nor are we assuming it will go up only to then collapse. What we're saying is that it's very strange, and even looking at a 4-hour time frame, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, it's very rare that Bitcoin has taken the great trouble for so many months to bring its price to higher levels where we've recently experienced great momentum, only to literally equal the all-time high. Frankly, this event has a gigantic label surrounding it, labeling it as fraudulent and deceptive. I don't trust it one bit. How is it possible that it only came to touch it? Seriously. So much effort just not to surpass it. Could have made a headline in the press. How could you not do it? Seriously. Reflect on it and put yourself in the shoes of the big institutions. What would they want? Okay, from this perspective, let's go back to the daily time frame. And hey, frankly, we don't know. But the top of the bullish channel, of course, it's enticing. We don't know if it's going to reach it, but as they say, we'll see if they correct us to reach it or if they'll reach it directly. For now, it doesn't matter much to us, but simply at a structural level. We must not lose sight of the macro bullish channel, as you'll see on the Ethereum chart, also on the same time frame. We can observe that we're also in a macro bullish channel. A macro bullish channel that, in Ethereum's case, is far from the top of the bullish channel. A very different situation from Bitcoin's case. And lowering the time frame to an hour, I'm sure you'll remember, as we were saying on Crypto Insight, before the price reached the mean of the macro bullish channel, that it was most likely that the price wouldn't hesitate or blink in wanting to surpass it and play with the structure. Alright, this whole idea was based on what we were seeing in Bitcoin, hence the great importance of conducting a cross-technical analysis and not simply relying on what one asset tells us. And to continue with this cross-analysis, we are going to use Cardano as our complete proxy for the entire altcoin ecosystem. Look at the price level of 66.98, where we have a very relevant level located. Everyone already knows why. And now, let's go to an hourly time frame to see what's specifically happening here. And zooming in a bit, we see how the price has pierced the creek to come and validate it. Clearly, they've set up a big trap for us, a very sneaky trap that anyone could hate if it caught them off guard. But what we have to take away is the following. We've broken the creek with great strength and reliability. We've come to validate the structure. Not only that, but we've created a trap scenario to then shoot up. As you can see, the altcoins may be projecting a scenario where they solve their current problem, which is confirming the break of the creek. What it could be confirming is a strong and aggressive continuity in the altcoin ecosystem. As usual, we honestly can't say whether something will happen or not, as it's impossible, but we do know the consequences of the possible events that may occur in the markets. This way, we can act accordingly and with a highly developed criterion. And by now, you will have noticed that on one hand, we have Bitcoin and Ethereum, and on the other hand, we have the altcoin market. Remember, we're using Cardano as a proxy, so imagine Cardano as an index of all altcoins, just on a conceptual level, of course. I've made this clarification. We see a big difference between both markets. In Bitcoin and Ethereum, we find ourselves in a critical context at the upper end in the case of Bitcoin, which has gone to kiss the all-time high. And Ethereum is crossing a middle line that frankly we don't care about, since we could already consider that it can easily cross it to the upside, which it has done. This leads us to think that the possibility of continuation is on the table. On the other hand, we have the altcoin market, a market that not long ago broke relevant structures to the upside and is now validating the hypothesis. We still don't know the outcome, but it's unfolding. This potential idea of longs is brewing. But if you're a bit sharp, not a wasp, you'll also be considering the following. Returning to the daily time frame of Cardano. Of course, we're going to wait and assess if this breakout finally gets confirmed to give us a very attractive ride for the crypto ecosystem, something like what Shiba Inu and Dogecoin have already done. But I'm sure that more than one is intrigued by the fact that we may be in the classic extreme market situation that could end up turning into a trap. Of course, course, we're in a dangerous context, but we also know well that markets, often as they did with Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, wait for no one and keep rising and doing their job. Ultimately, it's up to the financial markets to assume risks, to position themselves, and to take part in it. But as you know, in this video, I'm going to share with you what our perspective is, our one-sided ideas, and going to the 1-minute time frame. On the same Cardano chart, you'll see how we share our one-sided trading ideas, as I mentioned. And you'll see that in a live session of Crypto Insight. What we were looking for was, after seeing this strong bearish impulse, to look for a trap scenario, because when the price was approximately at this point, we were waiting for the price to rise above its trend line, which would provide us with an ideal scenario to look for a short and thus seek a bearish continuation in the market. Okay, we have here the 1-minute chart of Cardano. We're working on this. Well, like I said, why don't you set a trap for me, huh? In the end, this perfectly sets up the trap, making it seem like it's breaking out and heading to the sky. Trap. Boom. And we're looking for continuation. Bearish momentum. And AZ here, we want to find the ideal point of the ZIL to see if it gives that move. And similarly, we're looking for almost identical trading on the Polkadot chart in its 1-minute time frame. What we were looking for was a breakthrough of this structure to look for a short in the market. A very interesting level that Crypto Insight members shared was the point of 10.14 and another at 10.20. Being honest, as we always are, we didn't take this position since we were fixated on these levels. But as you'll see, the idea was well laid out, because when the price was around this point, we were going to wait up here for it to break the creek over one of these two levels, to look for that short idea around here, to see this downward outcome. But it seems like the market, well, it seems like it's trying to break. We'll see if this is true or not, but it's best to wait for a trap throughout this area. A trap, a cleanup to see if those who are short here, which we might think are distributing, will want to defend their position here. All of this, of course, remains to be seen, and we'll have to see if this is really the case. Well, at the end of a bigger click to see if we're looking for some kind of trap here, to see if it offers us that possibility. Ultimately, we're working on a hypothesis of seeking a replication. And now I'm going to share with you what we think about the crypto market for the short and medium term. But first, welcome to Crypto Insight, your ethical and moral channel for cryptocurrency technical analysis. Here, we really know what we're talking about. We conduct advanced technical analysis that has been developed for over 12 years. We upload videos several times a week. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, let me know and leave a comment with your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss the next opportunity. Regarding Cardano in its 1-hour time frame, knowing that we've broken the creek, that we've come to validate it with a trap, we're going to pay close attention to this structure, something like a level that smart money doesn't want to see lost to remain positive in the long term. And on a somewhat smaller scale, we're going to take close attention to this bullish momentum because we honestly think that smart money is continuing it with a bullish channel. And now, if you want us to take that non-existent crystal ball for a walk and flaunt it, and I say this, of course, jokingly, but as always, you want an opinion and a perspective. Even though you know that no one knows the future, I can share with you what's on my mind. A while ago, I shared a post with Crypto Insight colleagues where I said that it might be interesting to wait for some bearish movement in Cardano and the crypto ecosystem as a trap to look for a recovery that leads us to a bullish climactic action. Because frankly, my primary directionality for the immediate short and medium term is long. Right now, frankly, we find ourselves in a very hot zone, which is the base of the bullish channel. It seems like we're being squeezed, but something tells me, ladies and gentlemen, that we might experience a bearish climactic action as a trap before making the move that the big institutions are really looking for. And before I explain what we think might happen with the Bitcoin chart, I'm going to share a summary of how we looked for a scalping operation live with Crypto Insight members on the Bitcoin chart in the 1-minute time frame. Honestly, it was a frenetic activity, very complex and yet very well managed and executed. We're considering a long idea. I'd like to see it at 66,600. We've entered. We're in this line already long. It's not an optimal entry by any means, but we'll manage it. Ideally, we would have entered here, but look, we didn't have time to set it all up. It's a pivot pity, but it doesn't matter. Let's try not to scalp. Alright, let's do something because otherwise, I won't be at ease. It's crucial that they protect us. If not, we close and look for another later. It's key that they protect us for this reason here. That's why I wanted them to protect it. Now, I'll tell you if we protect it or not. Let's look for the exact entry point to replicate it on the other chart. 66,752, 66,752 around here, approximately on the click. We've entered colleagues. There we go. Long at that level, on that tiny line. We're going to monitor and continue from here. We protect, break even. We protect it at break even because I want to see them pierce that. If not, we'll look for it later upon piercing. While we're still in, break even hasn't been hit. Not by a long shot. Let's pay attention to see if they pierce it to continue. They try again. It's normal to see rejection here because you see they've absorbed these longs. They've absorbed and the price has dropped. So it's essential that that area we know they protected a few minutes ago, they open it to rise. It's essential, all right? That's why we've already protected the position. There it is. We've exited at break even, We've exited break even. We'll look for a new opportunity. No problem. We'll look for a new opportunity. Here we're going to draw a lesson, If we had entered correctly when we should have, which was here, where you see the cursor, well, the management would have been much simpler. But we entered late. All right, let's see how they manage this, because maybe we entered even later at the breakout of the level we're waiting to see if they pierce it or not. Let's create a line here. All right, you see how it's falling, right? You see that we did well in protecting the position. Do you remember that level we were looking for, which was lower, 66,600? This seems like an interesting level to me. We don't know if it's going to want to drop. We're in the key zone, as you can see. It throws itself from its house. It traps us. We check. We're long there. In another scenario, I wouldn't be so aggressive with the stop loss. I wouldn't be so finicky. But by seeking to buy the breakout, we demand volatility, momentum, aggressiveness. That's what we're experiencing. We raise the stop here. There it's raised. We don't want nonsense. Let it continue. Perfect. Ah, that sale. Let's see what happens with that sale. It barely didn't close. We're almost about to close it. Let's see what happens there. It hasn't closed, and we're still in there. Let's move the stop a little more. Jesus Christ is on our side twice. It almost closed, but it saves us. We raise it up to here. We keep raising the stop. We're doing very aggressive scalping. I told you we wouldn't do aggressive scalping, but that's what the market has offered us. It's closed on us now. We entered the breakout. We entered here and sold here. Well, you've just seen a summary of that operation, but if you'd like to see the entire operation with all the explanation and how we look for that very aggressive scalping long operation live. Telegram, continuing with what we think might happen on the Ethereum chart. As I said, we don't care that they've come to test the median, the macro of the bullish channel. We expected them to surpass it. We don't care. What do we see here? Well, we see an aggressive attempt to break a trend line that if it had been broken, Ethereum's price should have gone to hell. Highly valuable information because it's telling us, hey, when attempts were made to take the price to dreadful levels, it couldn't. Therefore, strength prevails in the market. That's the message. Hence, we see this bullish momentum and that Ethereum's price is now being continued with this bullish channel. Honestly, I'm somewhat uneasy because I would already be scaling down in time frame here, but since this video is going to YouTube, I want it to be interesting for you to see a somewhat longer term perspective so that you have time to act on what you plan to do. As we were saying, hey, why can't we expect a bearish stretch as a trap in altcoins to really look for the good movement, which is the upward one, because perhaps Ethereum here is telling us that we're at a market extreme at the top of a channel that they're compressing in a frankly sickening way. And hey, if this collapses, it's very likely that we'll have bearish visits. And here we'll see how far we can go because frankly, we could go all the way to the base of the bullish channel to test that impulsive movement that may still exist in Ethereum. Although, of course, we also have to consider that if they feel like it, they can create a trap scenario over a very important defense area before continuing the movement, in which case we would treat this whole event as a reaccumulation process. How do you feel about that? And before we move on to Bitcoin, let's visit our great friend BGB, the Bitjet token. Remember, obsessively, we're looking for buying ideas in the token initially. I remember that throughout this area, which could have already been capitalized. We've been looking for all these purchases, and you see, with this confirmation, it finally gave an interesting movement, although as you know, we have somewhat higher aspirations in case they wish to do so, as frankly, we have no idea if they will or not. Our strategy is to look for coherent points in case the price decides to explode and keep rising. Well guys, we have to keep monitoring this structure because as you can see, look how precise it is. Look if they've given us a new opportunity here. As you know, the crypto market, as you've seen in the flashbacks I've shown you from live sessions we do in Crypto Insight, offers us multiple opportunities daily. Now, tell me what you think. Do you think BGV will be able to respect this structure, perhaps with some trap, who knows, but that will already be the starting module for a continuation of longs, or on the contrary not? Leave me your opinion in the comments. Regarding the Bitcoin chart in its 1 hour time frame, we've been monitoring the price under this trend line because after the strong bullish impulse, smart money is continuing the price in this bullish channel. So, what are we seeing here? Hey, there's been an attempt to break out, but they've completely failed in their attempt. Hence, we see such an aggressive reaction saying not here. And I'll tell you again, I have an immense temptation to move to a lower time frame, but I'll stay here, and we're seeing an impulse that smart money is following in the form of a bullish channel. As I said, we can expect the price to either drop to the trend line, or who knows if they want to drop to the defense area as a trap to eventually look for that climactic action that will make headlines around the world and let everyone know that Bitcoin has hit a new all-time high. Now tell me, do you think something like this will happen in the market soon, or do you think the opposite? Leave me your opinion in the comments. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so that YouTube notifies you of future posts. And share this video with your friends and other trading and cryptocurrency communities so that more people can benefit from our content. Good luck with your trading, and until next time.